Of course, there are lots of old boats docked along the Buffalo River, but one in particular has landmark status that might surprise you.
It's called the Columbia. 2 on Your Side's Pete Gallivan shows us how the boat played a key role during the civil rights era.
There she sits behind Silo City on the banks of the Buffalo River, a once grand vessel awaiting a new future.
As a kid, I was on the boat.
Ian Danick is now part of the group trying to restore Columbia.
Feeling her get underway was a very exciting thing for a kid.
You can think of the Columbia as Detroit's version of the Canadiana, the boat that used to take Buffalonians across to Crystal Beach.
They built a huge dance hall, and in that respect, it's similar to Crystal Beach. Crystal Beach used a big dance hall as a way to attract people to the park and as a way of getting people on the boat.
And while the Columbia holds great memories for so many, it also was the scene of an ugly incident and a brick in the foundation of the civil rights movement.
In 1945, a young African-American woman was removed from the boat.
That woman's name was Sarah Elizabeth Ray.
She got on board Columbia on her way to amusement park with her fellow graduates from Secretarial School. She was the only African American in the group, and they threw her off the boat right in front of her classmates.
Desiree Cooper is part of the Sarah E. Ray Project, an effort to preserve the Detroit home of this courageous woman who wasn't about to accept the treatment she received on Columbia.
She went straight to the NAACP, filed a complaint. Fast forward, 1948, her case is before the U.S. Supreme Court, and she wins.
She was represented by Thurgood Marshall in the High Court, and many scholars believe that this case paved the way for the monumental Brown versus Board of Education decision and beyond.
I think if the last year has taught us anything, it's that these are cumulative events, and there's always that one that kind of breaks the camel's back or moves the agenda forward.
We think that the Sarah Elizabeth Ray case might actually have inspired the Rosa Parks incident.
As for Ms. Ray, even though she won, she never set foot on the Columbia again, holding on to that embarrassment and pain for her entire life.
Oftentimes when people are thrust into the limelight, and sometimes thrust into history, it's reluctantly. And it is not always a source of pride.
But she kept on fighting for civil rights, and now the fight is on to save her home, recently designated by the National Trust for Historic Preservation as one of the 11 most endangered historic sites in the country. From history to development in the Broadway Fillmore neighborhood, a huge honor for UB's Coach Jack, and a little music as we celebrate the Pine Grill reunion. Yeah, we cover a lot of ground. Join Claudine Ewing and me tomorrow night at 7:30 for another edition of Community. Guys,